Good morning. Well, today we are at our mountain cabin, which is in the Sequoia National Park, and it's about a 6-hour drive. The last 2 hours or 90 minutes are up a very circuitous 20-mile road, and we are in Silver City. That's a little bit of a misnomer because it's not really a city. It's 28 cabins and we have no electricity, and we are in charge of our own water. So my husband is the president of the water company. No surprise, right? And no cell service. Recently there's been some internet up here, but it's still very spotty. So one of the things about coming up to the cabin for the first time is that you have to open it up. So you have to do all the things to clean it and make it ready for the summer season. One of the things that I always do to make the cabin ready is to get the kitchen up and running. And in order to do that, I wash every dish, every utensil, every bowl. So I thought it would be fun to give you a tour of the kitchen so you can see what's going on in our mountain cabin kitchen. So here's our little mountain cabin kitchen. And I should mention that the opening up process for our mountain cabin is necessary because we are not able to access our cabin during the winter. The road is closed from Labor Day to Memorial Day. And so it's a pretty short season up here. So when we get up here, we really like to take advantage of it, but you have to open up. So here's the little kitchen that I opened up yesterday. We have a fire going this morning because it's a little bit chilly, but we won't have the fire all day because it's probably going to get up to at least 60 degrees. And the first night we were here, I actually cooked dinner over the wood burning stove because we didn't have a stove. We didn't have any propane the first night. My husband was able to remedy that. He's such a handyman. But anyways, so here we have our little breakfast bar, or our little dining area, and you can see above that we have a bottle chandelier, and actually it is a chandelier, but it's not electrified. There's a little battery light up there, but I got that in Austin at a special place that my daughter Jenny and I go, and I just love it. It's very unusual, but it's purely decorative. So over here in the kitchen, we have these open cabinets that have all these lovely things. Let me give you a tour. So the first thing in the cabinet is this darling little teapot, which is a creel. A creel is something that fishermen use to put in the fish that they've caught. And you can see the spout is a little fish. I got that at an estate sale. Too funny. And then up here is, I just adore this. This is my chocolate set, my hot chocolate set. And it has 4 tiny little cups and a beautiful, unusual sort of Art Deco teapot or chocolate pot. Of course, I have it on a riser, which is a little slab of pine. And then over here on the other side, I adore this plate. It's a little bowl. It has 3D fish coming out of the sides of it. Can you see them? They're swimming around the rim. And that is great for serving pasta. I serve pasta in that. And then down here, we have a little bear that's holding the tea. My husband bought me that canister. Above the stove, we have the bear, which we got in Visalia at an antique store. And the bear is flanked by these the little bears, which are on candle holders, pine tree candle holders. And then here we have a little Silver City house. So darling. And golden bears. Those are bookends, but we use them here. Now, if you look at the stove is a fancy stove. I'm going to show you some antique stoves that are up here, but we bought this cabin from a gentleman who'd had it for probably 40 years. And these were in the cabin. The silhouettes above the stove were in the cabin when we bought them. And I just love them. A cowboy on the trail. And over here, a cowboy with a steer. On the stove, we have another Creole with fish that are salt and pepper shakers. And over here, a mama bear and a baby bear salt and pepper shakers. And then over here, these are part of all the dishes that I washed yesterday. I adore this set. I just got this last year. My parents had a few pieces of this in their cabinet, and it's a cowboy on a bucking bronco with all of these brands around the edge, which is what I really love. It's by Westward Ho Rodeo Pattern. My dad, thought he was a cowboy, even though he lived in Southern California in North Hollywood all of his life. So he worked for the government, never did one day of work on a ranch, but in any case, so it has all the bowls and the cups. I love these cups. These are actually my favorite cups in the cabin. They're Fire King from the 1950s or 60s, and my husband's grandmother had a cabin right near us, and she had those, and so I had to have a set of those. Up here, some beautiful blue china that my friend Patricia bought me. A lovely water pitcher. And all of this has been washed and shined from yesterday. But speaking of brands, let me show you something funny. This is a brand that my father had made when I was little. He got it made at Knott's Berry Farm, if you can imagine. And the initials are JVJ, and that's because we were a tiny family. Jerry, my dad, Verna, my mom, and Jill, me, Jerry, Verna, and Jill, JVJ. And that was also on his license plate. So we have that up here at the cabin. My dad actually used to go around our home and brand things. He branded the fence posts, and I don't know, it was too funny. And we'll end the kitchen tour here with this lovely painting. We had this commissioned. Someone did a painting of the outside of our cabin. It's very beautiful. It's realistic, but at the same time, sort of painterly, in a kind of romantic way. This was actually just a visitor passing through who had an artistic talent and said, would you like me to draw your cabin? And we said yes, and this is the beautiful thing that he did. He was from Germany. And the last thing I'll show you is, this is Formica. Does anybody remember Formica? When we bought the cabin, there was Formica, and we decided not to change it. It is incredibly heat resistant and wears so well with all of the crazy things that happen up here, so we're very happy with it. Now, we do have electrical outlets, and I know I said to you we don't have electricity, which we don't. It's just that we have a generator, so we could plug something in if we turn on our generator, but we don't like to have the generator on all the time. So that's the tour of our little mountain cabin kitchen. Our cabin is not that big. If I turn around here, you can see pretty much the extent of it. Here's the living room, and then we have 2 bedrooms down the hallway. And that's it. But we love it up here. And now it's time to relax. P.S. Do you remember these? My mom had one of these on the kitchen wall, and I remember her talking on it all hours of the day and night. It's a rotary dial phone, which actually works. And when my daughters first came up and saw that we had installed this rotary dial phone, they couldn't figure out how to use it.